The meeting of the Public Safety Committee is now called to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Bosley. Alderman French. Present. Alderman Vaccaro. Present. Alderman Cone. Alderman Carter. Alderman Coulter. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Green. Present. Chairman Kennedy.
Here.
President Reed.
Here.
6 present. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have before the committee today Resolution 124, sponsored by President Reed, to hopefully make it clear about what our discussion is about today. The resolution was introduced and sent to the Public Safety Committee. It was not adopted by the Board of Aldermen. It is now the function of the Public Safety Committee to consider and look at the resolution and make a determination as to whether or not we feel it should be sent back to the full board for consideration. So we will not be getting into the provisions or the direction that is in the resolution for this committee to hold hearings on this subject matter. The topic is whether or not we feel this resolution merits return back to the board and consideration by the entire board. So we'd like to have the sponsor to come forward and talk to us about, just give us a general overview of the resolution, why you think it is significant, and its merits for going back to the full board.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for giving me an opportunity to talk about this resolution. I think it's a very important resolution considering the environment that we live in the city of St. Louis, but also the environments all across the country, where you have, a lot of stress between public safety, city government, and its residents. And in this case, if you take a look at what has transpired here, in December 20th, 2011, the video that was just released a few weeks ago on December 20th, 2011, that video of the dashboard camera video of Jason Stockley fatally shooting Lamar Smith. And when you think about the 4 years that transpired and what has happened across those 4 years, and the fact that we have this 4-year gap before there was an actual arrest, right? I think it's important to take a look at the policies of the use of dashboard camera video. What are those policies, formal and informal? How is the video handled? Who handles the video? How does the video get released? And do they release the video to the prosecutors, and when and why? And what are the policies concerning that? So what this resolution allows us to do is to go in and take a look at this case. It's not a witch hunt, and I want to make sure that be clear about that. It's not a witch hunt. But what it will do, hopefully it'll begin to restore some confidence in the public with public safety and city government, that we do care, and that we do have open, transparent government. So that's what the resolution does.
Questions from members of the committee? Alderman French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I want to congratulate and thank the President for introducing this resolution. I think the video that we saw of this incident was alarming to a lot of folks, and that this video existed and that people had seen this, and that this evidence had been floating around for many years before something happened, I think has drawn a lot of questions. And so I think it's important for us to maintain transparency, and I think part of our responsibility now that we have local control of the police department is to make sure that we help the public understand what the policy is and how it works. And so I think this is a good opportunity for us to do that, and I'm happy to co-sponsor this with you.
All right, thank you. Also, the other thing, when we look at the fact that there was a settlement, the St. Louis Police Board of Commissioners had a settlement back in 2013, and I don't know about any of you, but You know, I don't know what happened in that settlement, what the settlement was between the family and the city. But I think it's important for us to understand that and how that operates also.
Alderman Vaccaro?
Well, not so much a question to the, more a question to the chair.
Okay.
So if we pass this out to the full board at this meeting, which I'm fine with, but I wonder if we're better calling in, because once it goes to full board, we may not have the same ability to call in the different people to talk to them, whether it's the chief or whoever. I think you lose that ability. We would debate it amongst ourselves.
Well,
But if we're trying to
Yeah, we
understand the
wouldn't.
policy.
yeah,
Yeah, the
President.
way, it doesn't work that way. What the resolution does is it empowers the committee to begin those hearings. It also empowers the committee to be able to subpoena different witnesses if they need that. I don't think we'll need that, but it empowers the committee to move forward with the hearings.
Okay, and Tom just came by and explained it, so I'm fine.
the completion, okay. Alderwoman Spencer?
Thank you, Mr. President, and, excuse me, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President, for being here and for introducing this. My question, I guess, do we have any, when we bring this back to the committee, will we be looking at inviting experts, regional, nationwide experts, to advise the committee on best practices?
I think the committee at that point would have an opportunity to shape it however you would like to shape it. But, and, you know, I think probably it would be up to the chair and the vice chair, mainly the chair, how he would organize it and what shape that would take, right? This just empowers, this just gives the committee the power to begin to do those things that the committee feels like it needs to do in terms of looking into it and in terms of making sure that, you know, the policies and procedures are sound and that we understand and the public understands what those policies and procedures are. And with those policies and procedures, how do you end up with this four-year gap?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree that this is incredibly important for our city to take a look at. I think that convening this committee to review these policies is really important. When we took a look at policies last year regarding police-involved shootings, one of the things I felt was missing was having a budget to be able to bring in outside experts from across the country who do things differently than St. Louis does. And without a budget, we may struggle to come to some real effective,
I know
policy
such
changes.
things, yeah.
Would we have any budget to be able to bring nationwide experts to come and speak before the committee on this?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, the way the legislative branch has been shaped over these years, and we don't have enough money for magazine subscriptions, right? Right? The executive side has been, one of the things that they've done well is remove a lot of resources from the legislative branch. I would be happy to ask the Board of E&A for a special allocation for something like that, but I would not have a lot of confidence that would be honored in terms of bringing in national experts. We do have a lot of local experts that are good. WashU, St. Louis University, they have some nationally recognized people in criminal justice that can come and talk to us about these policies and procedures. And maybe there's an opportunity to partner with them, and we may not be able to bring that person in, but with teleconferencing and all these other things that are available today, we can probably have access to people all over the country through that partnership with Washington University and St. Louis University.
I think it's going to be really important to have some staffing time dedicated to helping us coordinate all,
Maybe that's you also raised a good point. Maybe that's a good thing to bring our new staff person, Jennifer, in, right? And maybe we have her assigned, this will be the first big task that we have her assigned directly to the committee, wholly to be able to look into this thing. I just think it's important in terms of building some confidence.
I would agree with that. Mr. President, would you mind adding me as a co-sponsor to this resolution?
I would be happy to.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank
That's
you.
all I have,
All right,
Mr.
thank
Chairman.
I mean, the other thing we can do, we have a committee hearing also next week.
Okay.
We could take a moment in that hearing to discuss other thoughts and ideas about how we think to approach the resolution.
Yes.
Because some other committee members who are not here may have some other thoughts on who to bring in and that.
Okay, yeah, and I think that we have the opportunity to do that after we pass it out, and
After we pass
the
it.
committee is empowered to really begin to look into it, right? And I think that you should take some time to do that, right? I think it's that important, and I think it needs to be deliberative. I don't think this is something that you just run out and do. I think we need to really take time and walk through it.
Okay. Alderwoman Green?
Just wanted to thank you, Mr. President, for taking the lead on this and introducing this. I definitely think it's a very pertinent issue. Going back to Alderwoman Spencer's point kind of about resources, perhaps we could look at, I know that I think Coro Fellows government placement is sometime in November, December timeframe, which might line up with this well, to see if we could get some staff support or intern support on working on this. So I'm happy to work on trying to find some other resources so we can get, we can really dive into this the way that we need to.
I would invite that. I think talking to Coral Fellows would be great to have them involved also, or any resources that they have that can help us. I think that would be very helpful.
Okay.
All right, thank
I
you.
think that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions or discussion from members of the committee? You can close on the...
Yeah, I'd just close by, thanking each and every one of you for giving me an opportunity to talk about this issue today. I know it's really important to a lot of you. I know Alderman French really has been pushing to make sure that that we understand what happened in not just this case but others. And I know yourself, not just as the chairman of public safety, but this has been a passion of yours for years. And I think we have an opportunity to begin to restore some confidence in public safety and in government by walking through this, and also for us to understand what has happened and what takes 4 years, right? So I thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about this today, and I'm looking forward to your favorable support.
Thank you. If there's no other discussion on the resolution, we can entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution number 124 with the guys' recommendation.
Been moved and seconded that we pass our Board Bill Resolution 124 with a due pass resolution. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Bosley. Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro. Alderman Cone. Alderman Carter. Alderman Coulter. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Green. Chairman Kennedy.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye.
6 aye votes do pass.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Chairman, as you know, resolutions and things of that nature on the floor, I don't handle them on the floor. So either yourself or whoever you would appoint to handle it on the floor, you guys decide that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. There's no other agenda items. Since there are no other, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.